from his family.
Was out on the field pretty much the whole entire first half.
We got a lot of great games. I'm highlighting 2 SEC games.
What's going on, everybody? It's Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at Ballard Sports Media on YouTube and Facebook. We are live on both platforms tonight, and we got your boy Mayhem Matthew in the house for Touchdowns Live. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, I guess. Can't wait to. We're going to be doing some transfer portal madness, and
we'll basically look through the transfer portal tonight, and also, what is this about Sheduer Sanders and a prank call? We'll end the show on that. But yeah, we're going to look through the transfer portal, look at our teams with Georgia and Alabama, look at the transfer portal rankings, some of the top transfers. There's some guys that entered today. Quite a bit too that I'm seeing. Washington State's picking up some people, so that's pretty interesting there. But we'll try to go through the Power Four a little bit and kind of see what's out there for the most part. So, what do you say we get into it?
let's do it.
All right. So let's look at the team rankings for the portal here. The top team is LSU. They got 11 4-stars, 5 3-stars, 17 commitments through the portal. Interesting to see who they got. Bernard Gooden is the defensive lineman coming from USF. He is incoming, and he's a commitment. Tamarcus Cooley is a safety from NC State. Donovan Green, Texas A&M, tight end. Patrick Payton from Florida State. We'll get to them later, I'm sure. Sadir Mitchell from Texas. Grant Chadwick, a punter from Middle Tennessee. Mansour Delane is a corner from Virginia Tech. Jack Pyburn from Florida is a edge rusher. Michael Van Buren Jr. Wow. From
Remember that
Mississippi
name?
State. Oh, yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
though?
It sounds familiar. I forget where he
Mississippi State.
I know I've heard the name.
Mississippi State quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, the one that Kirby Smart pushed.
Oh, yeah. That was that was interesting. Braylon Moore, interior offensive lineman for Virginia Tech. Destin Hill is a wide receiver from Florida State. 2 Oklahoma transfers. One of these actually more interesting than the other. Bauer Sharp, but Nick Anderson, wasn't he like their top receiver last year? I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, he
one of
was.
them, but
So I really love Nick Anderson. Nick
me
Anderson.
too.
He actually was injured for most of the year for Oklahoma. He was supposed to be one of like the top wide receivers for Oklahoma, but he sustained an injury and just never really. I don't think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't. He might have played in like maybe at most 3 games, maybe at most last year. He was pretty banged up all season. He might have played in, like, I would be surprised if he played in 4 games. I would be like super surprised. I mean, they were saying that he was probable every single week because I was doing my show every single week, and Nick Anderson was always on the injury list on the Mayhem Matthew podcast that I was doing. Nick Anderson was always on that injury list every single week. I don't think, because I covered Oklahoma a good bit last year. Like, it seemed like every
Right.
single game that I covered was Oklahoma football, and Nick Anderson was supposed to be like their top notch wide receiver. I'm very high on him. Still really high on him. He's a great addition to this LSU team.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, look, this guy, you know, didn't he didn't play according to research, did not play last year, did not play in 2022. I mean, he had one carry for 5 yards. But 2023, dude was a beast. 38 receptions for 798 yards, averaged about 21 yards a play, and he had 10 touchdowns. His longest play was of 63 yards. So, I mean, I think he's got potential. I don't know if he's been on the bench or what it is. He entered the portal about close to 6 months ago, and um, everything like that. But he just, man, that I think that's a good pickup for LSU there. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, Barian Brown is also another. See, a lot of these names are very familiar to me because on the I love doing the Mayhem Matthew podcast because we went through all these names, and some of these names are actually very familiar. Barian Brown is another one that's very familiar. He was Kentucky's best wide receiver from last year, and he's transferring to LSU, which is, I'm not going to say it's a surprise because, like, hey, you got a chance to go to LSU. That's where you're going, right? I mean,
Right.
LSU is um, a proven university that wins titles, and Kentucky is not so much, right? I mean, give respect to Kentucky. Kentucky is my second favorite team. If Kentucky's playing anybody that's not named Georgia, I'm cheering for Kentucky football. I love
Right.
Kentucky football. I have a respect for Kentucky football, but that's not where you go if you want to win national championships, and that's not where you want to be if you want to be in the NFL. LSU is the destination that you want to go. So Barian Brown's another one of them guys where I look at this transfer list and I'm like, wow, they picked up a great wide receiver.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Josh Thompson from Northwestern. Jakeem Jackson. I feel like I've heard that name quite a bit the last year or so, maybe a couple of years. Jakeem Jackson of Florida. As you were talking, I was trying to do some research on him. He transferred to the Tigers back in December after being in for maybe a week and a half. He did enroll January 8th, 2023 at Florida. He took unofficial visits, a couple official visits to SEC teams such as Kentucky and Tennessee and Florida. Of course, he committed on July 8th or July 28th, I should say, of 2022. Last year, didn't see the field too much. He had 4 total tackles last year, 2 on his own. He defended a pass. He had a little bit better stats in 2023, but I feel like for him, it's just a matter of seeing the field full time, and I that's really all I can say on Jakeem Jackson. You know that name too much?
Not as well as I do the other guys that I spoke about previously.
Right. Okay. Jamari Butler, an edge from Nebraska. Let's see. He's a 4-star as a transfer, 3-star as a prospect. He's from Mobile, Alabama. He enrolled back in 2020. to Nebraska. He entered the portal. Actually, believe it or not, I guess I don't know if he entered twice and then withdrew. I guess he probably did because he entered the portal on December 7th, 2022. Then it doesn't show anything after that until December 2nd, 2024, this past year when he entered the portal. And within like 10 days, whatever, close to 2 weeks, he transferred over to the Tigers.
Now, is this like number one in the transfer portal, or like?
That is a good question. Now he did play in 11 games with 10 of those being games he started last year in 2024. He had a fumble recovery, 2 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 22 total solo tackles on his own. He did rank third on Nebraska's defense um, in tackles for loss. So according to their website.
Yeah, I was asking, is this like you clicked on LSU because like they're number one in the transfer portal rankings, or?
Yeah, so far, I mean, it seems as if they are the top, uh, class in the portal right now with 17 commitments. Uh,
Yeah, I actually love this list. I mean, they got a couple of great wide receivers.
Patrick Payton's a good edge from Florida State, I think. Now, I know Florida State struggled last year and whatever went wrong, but I've heard the name Patrick Payton thrown out amongst like some of the top defensive players, maybe at least in the ACC. It'd be interesting to see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then did they pick up? They took Michael Van Buren as far as quarterbacks go from Mississippi State.
I've also
Michael
heard
Van
the
Buren
I've
Jr.
also heard of the Braylon Moore. I've heard his name a couple times.
Yeah, I have too. Interior offensive lineman from Virginia Tech, one of those inside tackles there. He's 6'3", 303, big guy. Um, I've heard he's really fast too, even for a guy as big as he is. Like he's so quick to get up on time for the snap, and he's just a really good blocking offensive lineman that I think could help this offense.
So let's do this, Ballard. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's grade. Do our own grading. Okay.
Okay.
We're not going to go based off of the rankings, even though like this is the number one according to 247, right?
Right.
Let's do this, Ballard. Let's go through the top 10.
Mhm.
Just do the top 10. We're not focused on anything outside top 10. Let's do the top 10. Look at all the incoming transfers, and let's give a letter grade A, B, C, D, F. And let's see how these teams do. Like, based off of what you're looking at right now, LSU's transfer portal is like what would you grade this list here?
I like it. I could probably it's not an A. It's nowhere near an F. I do think this is a good list. They went after, especially on the defensive side, which I think they need some help with. I won't give it an A, but I'll put them at a B, B plus, maybe.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking
like it.
B plus.
Yeah.
They got some great. I feel like the best position group that they really focused on really hard was the wide receiver group. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, with Destin Hill and Nick Anderson for sure. And they brought in Bauer Sharp, a tight end from Oklahoma.
Yeah. And then the guy from Kentucky.
Barian Brown right
Yeah.
here. Yep.
He's also a great addition. So I feel like, wide receivers, if this was just the wide receiver list, I would go A plus here. But I feel like, Michael Van Bruin Jr., he's good, but he's not like, he's not great or elite. I've seen flashes of greatness from Mr. Van Bruin here, but like really fast with his legs, but maybe once the pocket collapses, you know, I think he makes bad decisions a lot of times, and I think maybe he's not the most accurate passer, but that's a solid pickup. I don't know. Obviously, he's not going to be the starter because old buddy's coming back for another year. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but um, help me out, Ballard.
Oh, I'm not sure. I
LSU's quarterback.
Nussmeyer?
Yeah, Nussmeier. There you go.
Yeah.
Nussmeier's going to be the starting quarterback this starting season. Michael Van Bruin, he'll be on the bench learning. So I don't know if they're banking on him being the assumed starter for the next season after next. But we'll see. I think this is a solid list. Like you and I said, I think this is like a solid B plus. You got some good edge rushers on this list as well.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but yeah, overall, I think a solid B plus. Let's go on to the next one.
The next one I want to look at. Um,
Let's do
can
the
we
top,
skip over? You want to just do them in order?
just the top 10.
Just the top 10? Okay. Texas Tech has the second overall class. This will be interesting to see. And by the way, for those listening and everything, we're kind of just finding out about some of these transfer. Like this is a reaction here. Like we're finding out about these transfers, like you guys are watching this show. So, but let's see what the Red Raiders had to do this offseason. Um, Roy Alexander from Incarnate Word. Cash Cleveland from Colorado is an interior offensive line. Micah Hudson.
Okay,
I've heard
that
that name.
we've actually talked about him on the show before.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
Texas A&M wide receiver.
I like
Da-
him. That's a great pickup.
yeah. David Bailey is an edge from Stanford. Romello Height from Georgia Tech. I've heard some good things about him. Lee Hunter from UCF. Skylar Gill Howard, a defensive lineman from Northern Illinois. Howard Sampson, offensive tackle from UNC. From Buffalo, Upton Bellefonte is a kicker. Terrence Carter is a tight end from the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Will Jados is a offensive tackle from Miami of Ohio. Anthony Holmes from Houston, defensive lineman. Bryce Pollock. Any relation to David Pollock? Probably not, but I don't know. He's from Mississippi State. Is a corner. Reggie Virgil uh, is a wide receiver from Miami of Ohio. This one, I've heard his name quite a bit. He's from USC. This is Quentin Joyner, the running back. He's a former 4-star recruit. I've heard some interesting things about him as far as his talent and skill set as a running back. So maybe that could be a good pickup overall in the portal. Terrian Grant, corner out of Purdue. Hunter Zambrano is an interior lineman from Illinois State. Amir Boyd from UTEP. Dante Balfour from, what is that, Charlotte. Cole, hold on. Wisniewski, a safety from North Dakota State, and quarterback Mitch Griffiths from Wake Forest. Outgoing guys that are, some have not committed anywhere. Isaiah Crawford is an edge. Isaiah Collins, a corner. LJ Johnson, wide receiver. Joseph Adidar,
Wait a second.
huh?
These are outgoing transfers.
Oh, you just want to look at who's coming in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we did that then. What stands out about some of these guys? Any names sound familiar?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Micah
Micah Hudson from
Hudson.
A&M.
So
I
I
knew that
did
name
some.
sounded familiar to me.
We talked about him before.
He's a freshman of this year's class. Actually, he's was rated pretty high as a 5-star.
Now, the question is, he must have. I'm doing some research, Ballard.
Uh-huh.
It says that he played
Because
for Texas Tech in 2024, 8 receptions,
uh-huh.
123 yards.
Yeah,
But somehow he's transferring back to Texas Tech.
that is correct. So I'm looking at his timeline here. December 20th, 2023, he signed with the Red Raiders. He enrolled the following January on the 8th. He then uh, enrolled, I guess his freshman year would have been the 2024 season that we just came off of, but he entered the portal back on December 1st. He then decided to transfer to A&M. He re-entered the portal when it opened back up a couple weeks ago on the 16th. And just yesterday, on April 27th, he committed back to Texas Tech. So that makes me think, did he miss Texas Tech and see that he made a mistake? Or is there something going on with the Aggies that maybe we need to keep an eye on? What do you say?
I don't know. It's just kind of, I wouldn't say weird, but we had talked about him once before, Ballard. Mm,
Did we look at his
I,
highlights or something?
I can't remember what we talked about. Maybe it was him transferring to Texas A&M. I don't know what the reason. I remember we did a whole entire segment about Micah Hudson. I remember.
Right.
I'd have to go back and listen to it, but I remember we did a whole entire 10 or 15 minute, like we did a whole entire segment just based off of Micah Hudson. I remember like it was yesterday. It wasn't yesterday, by the way, but I don't know if we were talking about him hitting the transfer portal and him going to Texas A&M, and then now he's going back to Texas Tech. I don't know what the. I wish I knew, but was there a story with him? Was there some news
I can
about
look
him?
it up. Ooh, that Micah Hudson. Let me see. Micah Hudson. What was it, his NIL? Because there's, okay, hold on. It has to be. Let me see this article here. This is from Gig'em Gazette from December 18th of 2024. Um, now, this is a fan-sided Texas A&M website. So I don't know if it's, I mean, I've heard of fan-sided. I don't know how reliable they are. But the title of this article, Recruiting Expert Blasts Viral Micah Hudson NIL Graphic Total Buffoonery. After a tweet went viral claiming that the star wide receiver transfer for A&M football had eye-popping NIL demands, those in the know are finally calling it out.
Yeah.
I
Also,
want to know what his NIL demands were. Let me click on this.
also, um, I think this is what it was. Micah Hudson has stepped away from the team after reportedly getting into a fist fight with Marcel Reed. I think that's what it was.
That might be what we talked about. Maybe not the whole NIL deal, but that does sound familiar now.
Yeah, he got into a fist fight with Marcel Reed from Texas A&M, and that, my friend, is why he's going back to Texas Tech because Texas A&M said hit the road, Jack. That's what happened.
Don't come back no more, no more. Yeah.
But I remember very vaguely talking about that guy, and I looked up his highlights. I mean, he didn't record that many yards at Texas Tech, only 123, but I mean, he's really good talent. He's really nice. He's
He
really
is.
shifty, and I looked at his high school tape as well. I mean, he's a really good talent. He's really talented, and hopefully he has a better year than he had this past year with only 120. I'm gonna give you a hot take. He's definitely gonna have more yards than he did this past season. But
Now, do you think he's going to be the lead receiver at Tech?
uh,
Most likely.
don't know who all they have on their team, but
He's
I would.
talented enough he could be, but I
I
mean,
don't
it's
think
Texas Tech we're talking about.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was the leading
Right.
receiver. I mean, he was a true freshman last season. So that would make him, a second year, and he'd be more of a veteran. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a breakout year this year.
Let me see something. He might have been receiving. Um, he had 8 receptions last year. It wasn't even close between him and who was the lead receiver. Let me see. This guy's name is Josh Kelly, who was a senior. He had 89 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns, averaging about 11 and a half a catch.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could. I think
So it
I
wasn't even close. So I'm assuming that maybe he wasn't seeing the field a whole lot, and then obviously the issue that we had read about when he was at Texas A&M. But I mean, our guys they have some seniors on that receiver room at Texas Tech. Maybe he heard some news about some guys leaving out and maybe trying to take it to the next level or go on with careers or something. But I mean, don't be surprised if maybe if things work out this off season. I mean, we could be talking about him being in the Big 12.
yeah. Let's keep an eye out on him. I'd like to follow him this season, and
Yeah,
maybe
I'm going
we
to
could
follow
do a
him on ESPN and all.
yeah, we can do a touchdowns live and come back to this guy, man, next year. My hot take is he's gonna have a really good season. I'll say, let me predict. I'll say he has like at least a 500-600 yard year.
I'd throw in 3 touchdowns, 3 or 4 touchdowns too. He could probably have that type of year.
Yeah, I say about 500-600 yards with about 3 touchdowns. Let's see
Yeah,
how close we are at the end of the season.
I feel like we've talked about a couple of these guys. I could be wrong, but this name Romello Height from Georgia Tech, an edge defender. Does that sound familiar to you too? Maybe I just have followed Georgia Tech a little bit, and I probably keep watching Rec Talk and all them. But anyway, he is 6'3", 240. He's an edge. He's coming into Texas Tech from Georgia Tech. He's from Dublin, Georgia. So far, he was part of the 2024 class. No, he can't be. It says his experience started in 2024, but when you look at him, technically speaking, he's been around. He committed. He decommitted in December of 2019 to uh he decommitted and flipped from Miami and signed that day to Auburn. He enrolled at Auburn January of 2020. He then would sit on the bench and transfer to USC in January 2022. He then entered the portal in January 2024, which would have been last year, and he transferred to Georgia Tech. He then transferred this past December and went to Texas Tech. So he's transferred, what did I just count? 3 times? Is that right? So
3 or
he's
4.
been around. Yeah.
He just can't get on the field, man.
Yeah. And again, I mean, he a 4-star recruit at edge. I don't know. Like, is something this is where we have to dive in, and we don't have all the information in front of us. But it does make you wonder, is something going on with players like this behind the scenes that maybe they're not telling us, you know?
Yeah.
Because a guy with talent like that, that's highly rated 4-star, that can't see the field, that's had to transfer twice. I mean, that's alarming to me.
Yeah, I mean that's why like I wanted to grade these transfers from like A, B, C, D, F, not
Mhm.
based off of what they're ranked, but just based off what we think. Because
Yeah,
obviously, 247 is going to see 4 stars and it's going to bump their ranking up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I would like to rank this class or this incoming transfer class, right?
yeah,
Um, I'm gonna honestly give it like hmm. I remember Quentin Joyner. Uh,
yeah, from USC. I've heard that name thrown around quite a bit. Had some good stats last year too as a freshman. He's got 63 carries, 3 touchdowns, 478 in yardage. A little undersized at 5'11", but in the weight room a little. I don't know, but he comes in um to
I
Texas
remember,
Tech.
there's a couple people I remember on this list. Some of these people I haven't heard of, but overall, man, I give this. I'm in the middle, like I guess a regular old C.
I say either yeah, a C or C minus. I mean, here's what you got to look at too. It's not just who they're bringing in, but like you're going to try to develop anyone you can in college football. I think we could agree on that. They have 21 guys incoming, but they lost 25. So they still got some work to do a little bit to make up for everybody that left. Um,
So
but
are
at
we
the same
where are we
time,
ranking outgoing transfers and incoming transfers?
I figured we'd just do overall. I mean, if you
Okay,
wanted to, you could, but
let's do overall then. Overall, I'll
yeah,
say like a C minus.
yeah, I probably would too.
Overall,
Probably
let's
would
do
too.
overall. But let's go on to the next team.
Ole Miss with 28 commits. By the way, if you guys haven't heard, the Lane Kiffin episode of Theo Vaughn, awesome. Did a great job. I liked it. Uh, anyway, Ole Miss Rebels 2025 transfer class. Let's see, 28 incoming transfers. We'll get to some of these. Um, Outgoing transfers 30. 30. Now I know they recruit and bring in a lot of guys and stuff, but holy cow, man.
But you also got to understand that there are some like bums that are transferring out.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into effect as well.
This I like Harrison Wallace the third. I think he could be something special for them this upcoming year. But that's just my own personal opinion. But we'll start back at the top here. ULM safety Whitehead Williams. Richie Fletcher is a corner from South Alabama. Damian Taylor, a running back from Troy. From Maryland, we have a offensive tackle, Therese Davis. Trinidad Chambliss, a quarterback from who is this? I don't know. Oh, Ferris State. I don't know. The hell is that? Tavoy Fagan, a corner from Clemson. Harrison Wallace, I mentioned from Penn State. From Akron here, Jordan Simmons, a running back. All these guys enrolled, by the way, and I could go down the list, but there's so many transfers here.
Well, you
Let
got
me
go up a
ask
little
you
bit.
this. Yeah, what's up?
Go up a little bit more. I thought I seen something. Go up. Or maybe it's down.
What was the name? What'd you see?
Never mind. Just
Okay.
I thought I seen something there. I was like, I thought that man got drafted, but I thought I seen
Lawan
somebody's name.
Lacey. Did you think it was like
Go
that's
down a
pretty
little
close
bit.
to Sage Ryan, Jaden Yates, Antonio Kite's pretty decent from Auburn. Um, oh, Caleb Odom from Bama, and he transferred out. I think he's good. Could use him at tight end or slot. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
Caleb. I
oh
like Caleb Odom.
yeah,
There you go, right there. I got that guy right there.
Prince
Doesn't he have a?
Prince Will
Does he have a brother?
Prince Lee Uman Mielen maybe.
Is that his brother? Because he went to. Didn't he go to Florida? His brother got drafted, didn't it?
Yeah, had to have, man.
Remember, was it Prince Lee that went to Florida, transferred to Ole Miss, and then got drafted? And then a couple days ago, we were live streaming the draft, and you said, "Why would he transfer?" And I said, "Well, to get drafted."
Right.
And then we laughed and joked about that. That's the guy. I was wondering, like,
Okay.
is he any kin to him?
He could be
Because
close first
how many,
names, same
how
last
many,
name.
how many last names are that last name?
Not a lot. I mean, not a lot of like different Uma Malins or whatever, like families. Anyway, Andrew Jones from Georgia, a linebacker, Deshaun Womack from LSU, and then and he's an edge, by the way. Then they have 30 players going out. Now,
He,
let me ask you before we dive into you were going to say something. What's up?
some of these outgoing transfers
Yeah.
are absolutely hot dog water.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask when you look at Ole Miss having 30 players going out, you say they're hot dog water, you say they're washed, you say they're probably not that good, can't make the field, can't make the cut. Is there a issue with the type of players they're bringing in at Ole Miss? Like, is Lane having issues recruiting? As good of an offensive guru as he is, and even though he can bring in some talent, to lose 30 transfers, that's got to be killing him. Like, he's got to be kicking his own butt right now, right?
Well, let's just face it, Ballard. I'm gonna give you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna spit some gospel to you, okay?
All right.
So teams like Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia, a lot in the SEC, Big Ten, these power teams, right?
Yeah.
They go out and recruit what we would call depth pieces.
Right.
These guys are never seeing the field, Ballard. They're really just recruiting these guys for depth. They have no interest or desire to start any of these guys, right?
Right.
They might be really good talent on like the group of five level, or they might be really good talent in the FCS level, right? They
Oh
might
yeah.
be extremely good somewhere else. Maybe, you know, maybe at like a still power four, maybe like a Wake Forest or like an SMU or something like that. Maybe they will be really good there. But Ole Miss recruits these guys with the intention of, okay, if our first string and second string get hurt, then this player would do, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not seeing the field, and a lot of these players are being told by Lane Kiffin and company, hey, it's time for you to hit the transfer portal. Like they're literally
Yeah.
telling these players, hey, I think it'd be in your best interest to hit the transfer portal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That
some
makes
of these
sense.
some of these guys are, big losses to Ole Miss that we'll see, but some of them and a good bit of them are really just depth pieces, and might lose some depth. But you got 28 incoming transfers. Most of them 28 is probably better than most of them 30 outgoing. Is what I'm trying to say. But we could take a look at them though.
For sure. Because I think you got to actually look at who's leaving to come to a full on conclusion. But you do make some pretty good points there. Let's see. Daniel Demiri is a linebacker. Pierce Clarkson, a quarterback. I know they got a few of those. George Hamsley, a quarterback. Chamberlain Campbell, an edge.
Let me go back to
It's-
that George
Which
Hamsley.
one? What's up?
George Hamsley.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
He has no stars. I'm trying to think. Let me look at him real quick. 6'5", 220. High school was in Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis University School. Um, Now he transferred to Tennessee State, and then it doesn't say when he came to Ole Miss, but obviously he's I mean he's in the Ole Miss portal right now, so when
Yeah.
he got there, I don't know, but he did enroll at LSU August 1st of 22. Is that why you stopped me right there?
No, I stopped you because, like, bro, it's a zero. I mean, I know stars somewhat don't matter, but like, come on, bro. Like, you think Ole Miss really, you know, really cares if George Hamsley like enters the portal? Like, come on, bro.
Right, right.
That's why I stopped you.
No, I got you. I got you.
And look, George Hamsley might end up becoming like some pro in the NFL and be another Tom Brady, but like right now, come on, bro. George Hamsley probably is worse than Peyton Thorne.
Probably.
And
And it's hard to do that.
you know how garbage look, bro, I am the biggest Peyton Thorne hater. Like, bro, and I'm saying that he's probably more garbage, right? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like
They
Justin,
also got they got this Justin, I'm looking at his timeline, Kowalik, 6 foot, 205, not bad size. He's only been at Ole Miss. He committed on May 7th of last year. He enrolled June 1st of last year. That's all he's got on his timeline. So he was originally committed and signed with the Rebels. Now he's in the portal.
So did he do a whole year?
Mm, I don't know if he saw the field, but it looks like he would have been on the roster last year. Yeah, last
See, like
season.
these guys shouldn't even be at Ole Miss.
Right.
Justin, you should be at like, you know, yeah, you know,
See this Tulsa right here? See this Tulsa logo?
they
That's where you gotta go.
right,
Something.
like Tulsa or
Cam East knows what's up, right?
right, exactly. Like
Yeah.
Jordan Smart, you're not very smart. You need to go like to East Tennessee State and
I
play
just don't
football.
understand. Like, I understand. Here's the thing. Well, Lane Kiffin recruiter. Yeah, I know. But these kids, at the end of the day, even though they get recruited by these schools, they have the choice of where they're going to go for college, where they're going to go for football, all that stuff. That's up to them. They chose to go to Ole Miss. It's not that you went to Ole Miss, you went to the SEC. You went to the big boy league and you found out you can't cut it. And we're not trying to be too critical here, but it obviously didn't work out that after a year, these guys are entering the portal. Any other non rated guys, Norreal White, Jason Albritton, a running back? What other zero
Well,
stars are there?
Jason knows what's up too. I mean, he's
Yeah,
going to what?
ETSU,
There you go. That's more like what Jason's supposed to
East
do.
Tennessee. Yeah. Look at this guy going to Southern Miss. Shout out to CP Sports, by the way. Micah Davis.
I mean,
Now
that would
he's a
be a great
three-star,
pickup
but
for Southern Miss, but it's not going to cut it at Ole Miss, And
top three stars.
That Lewis
Yeah,
Moore, he's going to have trouble finding the field next year.
probably. I mean, he might could see the field. He's going to Indiana, but I see what you're saying about if he were to stay at Ole Miss.
I mean, um, a lot of these look at a lot like one's going to Georgia Southern, one's going to UCF.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me just based off of where they're going, right? That
Yeah,
tells me that they're no good at the SEC level. They're no good.
yeah.
Like
Now,
Matt
AJ Brown
Jones.
is AJ Brown. Is he not one of their studs on defense?
Obviously not. Where's
No,
he
I'm getting
headed?
that mixed up. I know why I know that name because of the wide receiver in the NFL. Anyway, he's going to Georgia Southern.
I mean, you might have lost a few good ones.
Micah Pettis to Florida State. See, you got guys leaving Ole Miss for Florida State.
Now,
Now, what is this?
Micah Pettis, you know, you might have said, okay, maybe we shouldn't have lost him.
Right.
But, like, honestly, a lot of these players that they're losing are like players that you really aren't going to use anyways.
Right. Walker Howard. Now, that one's interesting to me. With Jackson Dart now in the pros, Walker Howard enters and he's now enrolled at Louisiana.
I thought Walker Howard was going to be really good.
I thought so too. I thought he was a 4-star. It says he's a 3-star. I don't know why I thought he was a 4-star.
Now he's
'Cause
going to the
I thought he was.
Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Yeah.
We got Talamani going to Coach Prime.
Yep. It's a O line.
Rashad Amos going to Memphis.
Running back. Yep. UCLA picks up Key Lawrence, a safety. 61205, and that's the end of their outgoing transfers.
I'm gonna give
It
this a
seemed
solid
like
A.
for what they picked up or the outgoing.
You said let's do all of them. I'm
Oh
doing
yeah.
like outgoing and incoming. What they
Mm-hmm.
lost, and
They
here's
made
my
up.
reasoning.
Yeah.
If you look at what they lost, you're probably telling yourself, scrub, 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 scrub. Okay, decent guy, scrub, scrub. Decent guy, scrub, scrub. Right?
Yeah.
You look at their incoming transfers, you're like, man, that's a good pickup. That's a good pickup. Oh man, that's good. That's good, right? I give this a solid A.
I like it. I would give it an A too.
I mean, Lane Kiffin is the transfer portal king. Come on, man.
He's the transfer whisperer. That's what they call it. Oh, pretty boy Lane Kiffin. So anyway, that's Ole Miss. Let's look at now. I guess we're on to Miami.
Yep.
Let's go. Now, obviously, with Miami, the big highlight is Carson Beck coming in. Um, but I look at this. I also see Burt Auburn from Texas, uh, Keelan Marion from BYU, Kamal Bonner from NC State. We mentioned Carson Beck, Alex Bauman
You
from
literally just
Tulane.
skipped over somebody really important.
No, I didn't. Carson Beck. I already mentioned him.
Burt Auburn?
Burt Auburn. I said that.
Oh.
I
You
said
skipped
he's
over
from Texas.
you skipped
Bull.
over him like a hot potato.
No.
Burt Auburn literally missed that field goal in the that almost costed him the game versus Arizona State. And he said, I am not dealing with these Texas fans no more. I'm hitting the portal. Dude, Burt Auburn better be glad that they won that game. I mean, obviously they ended up losing down the road, but still, like, good grief. All right, I'm good.
All right. Carson Beck,
Carson Beck.
Alex Bauman.
Carson
Yeah.
Beck's the best quarterback in the transfer portal,
Uh-huh.
or was. They got the best quarterback. James
I could
Brockemeyer.
yeah, this guy here, the Brockemeyer twins, Tommy and James. I don't know what Tommy Brockemeyer's up to, but James has been around a little bit. He transferred from Alabama to TCU. Never saw the field at Alabama. Goes to TCU. Saw the field a little bit. Now he's obviously signing and going to Miami. But he's a good sized guy, I guess. I mean, 6'3", 295 is not terrible. But
So
Xavier Lucas,
he went to Alabama.
yeah,
James.
Brockemeyer.
Like,
Brockemeyer.
I don't know. He should have stayed at TCU. But all right, go ahead.
Xavier Lucas, cornerback, 4-star from Wisconsin. Charles Brantley is a corner from Michigan State, also a 4-star. Jack Nickel is a tight end from UAB. Go Blazers. Zechariah Poyser is a safety from Jacksonville State. The Gamecocks here in Alabama. David Blay is from La Tech. Emmanuel, feel free to stop me if you know any of these names, by the way. Emmanuel Carnley, a corner from Arizona. Ethan O'Connor, a corner from Washington State. And then I think we both should talk about this one. CJ Daniels of LSU, a 4-star wide receiver. What's your thoughts on him?
I think he's really good. I think this is a solid incoming transfer portal list.
Heck yeah. Get you some weapons, get you a new quarterback. Especially on the offense they built up, man.
What about the outgoing transfers?
21 guys. Abram Murray, a kicker.
I mean, we don't have to say every single
Emmanuel,
name. We could just,
yeah,
do the highly rated ones.
yeah. Or we could just do position, kicker, corner, edge. uh yeah, like that. Zaquan Patterson is a safety, Josh Horton a D lineman, Shamar Kirk, Yanni Hill, Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas. Mm,
You must be thinking about the
is that
basketball
just a
player.
huh?
You must be thinking about the basketball player.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I'm just common name, I guess. Jaden Harris to Georgia. Frankie Tinalau is an interior offensive lineman. Let's talk about this one. Zion Nelson. I believe I heard that name a couple years ago when he was recruited. But Zion Nelson is a big offensive tackle, 6'5", 316. He's going to SMU. That's all I got. I know I've heard that name quite a bit. Riley Williams is a tight end going to Oregon State. Miles Young is a corner to Coastal. Isaiah Horton going to Alabama. That's actually someone that all the experts are saying keep an eye on this spring, keep an eye on fall camp. He could, outside of Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, he might be wide receiver 3 for the Crimson Tide.
But here's the thing: we couldn't even keep an eye on him because they didn't even give a care to put it on TV.
That is true.
But yeah, I think Isaiah Horton's a bad loss for the Miami Ducks.
I knew you were going to say Ducks.
Huh?
I knew you were going to say Ducks. I knew that was coming. Say this last name, please.
Darajati?
Good enough for me. Ronald Darajati is a kicker. Robbie Washington, a corner, going to Coastal. Robert Stafford
Now,
is a
is he
corner
related to
going.
Matthew Stafford?
Oh, I don't know. Going to UCLA though. Ajay Allen is going to
Oh
FI.
boy,
What?
that's hilarious.
Ajay Allen?
No, I'm talking about Robert Stafford.
Oh. Chris Johnson Jr. going to SMU. Antonio Tripp is a lineman going to FIU. Reese Poffenbarger is a cornerback going to North Texas.
Reese
And
Hamburger.
huh?
Reese Hamburger.
Yeah. And then a
You know what?
withdrawn transfer of Nye Carr.
Nia Carr. Let's talk about Nia Carr.
Yeah?
Because your boy Mayhem Matthew had some conversation with Nia Carr.
Did you?
I did. So it's funny because he hit the transfer portal. So what happened was he was committed to the Georgia Bulldogs like for a long time. And like I thought for sure, like I was really high on that car. I'm like, bro is going, and then he literally takes a bag to Miami,
Uh-huh.
and I literally messaged because he put Nikar put a message out there, and he said like Georgia doesn't use their wide receivers correctly, right?
Right.
And I just had to spit some gospel to him, and I was just asking him about Ladd McConkey. I was asking him about, all these wide receivers, and you know, and then he was just, and then he responded back like he responded to me, and he was just basically like, oh, basically like shut up, like I didn't go for the bag or whatever. He responded back to me. I'd have to go back and look at it, but yeah, me and Nikar had a little Twitter feud, back and forth at one point in time, but tried to get him on my YouTube, but he hadn't responded yet. But he probably won't. But yeah, man, Nikar had high hopes for him. I thought he was going to Georgia, but he decided to be a fraud and take the bag to Miami, and then he hit the transfer portal. And I was laughing like that's hilarious. He hit the transfer portal and wasn't good enough, but I guess Miami threw even more money at him because he had withdrawn his transfer. I guess he was trying to do the same thing that Nico I'm about to leave you did, try to get more money. And well, the difference is it must have worked for Nikar.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my little 5-second story of Nikar. You know, even though he didn't go to my team, I want Nikar to do good. I want him to be successful.
For sure.
I guess I'm just a
That
little.
is
I'm.
the
A, I'm.
end of their
I.
transfers.
I guess I'm just a hater because I wanted him on my team.
Yeah.
I was really high on him. I was like really excited for him to come to Georgia, and he just didn't go. But anyways, what's the next one?
That's it for Miami. Top five. If we do the top five,
Yeah, let's just do
Oregon.
top. Let's do top five.
All right, Oregon is last at
All
number
right.
5.
But what did you grade that? I'd say like a B.
Um,
A B. Regular B.
yeah, I was fixing to say I probably it's definitely not an A, and it's
No.
not terrible either. So I'll probably go B.
So we got one more.
Yeah, Oregon Ducks.
Two
The
Ducks in the top
Oregon
five.
Ibis.
Two Ducks in
Oregon
the top.
Ibis.
Yeah, Oregon
Yeah.
Ibis. Oregon.
Okay. 10 incoming transfers. We'll get to that in a second. And 14 going out. Interesting.
Oh, they already got a bunch of people I already know from this class. Incoming transfers.
Emmanuel Pregnon,
I don't know him.
in, interior lineman from USC.
I do know the
Um,
next one. Actually, the next three of them.
Mackay Hughes
I love
from
him.
Tulane. Malik Benson. Now, was he not at Alabama too?
Yes.
He was. I thought so because we recruited him.
And then he went to Florida State. Didn't do
Yeah.
good. Now he's probably not going to do good at Oregon. But
Yeah.
I remember Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing his name. Um, let me see.
Mari Johnson sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Isaiah World from Nevada. Oh,
Bear,
Bear Alexander.
Bear
Ooh,
Alexander. My boy Bear
dang.
Alexander just traveling the country at this point, huh?
Yeah, right. He's like, we going on a We going on a trip, boys.
I mean,
Going on a
Georgia,
road trip.
Georgia, Southern
USC.
Cal, Oregon. Like, come on, bro. At this point,
Yeah.
you just want to take vacation somewhere.
Oh, I know.
I mean, Bear Alexander's stock. If he does not, I'm gonna give you a hot take, Ballard.
What's that?
If Bear Alexander just don't absolutely put up astronomical numbers, he won't get drafted next year.
I could agree.
Because
Um,
I mean, this dude literally messed himself up by. I mean, we will remember Bear Alexander by the guy that literally chased the bag in college. This Bear Alexander, did you know he went to like 4 different high schools? He went to Georgia, Southern Cal, now 3. This is going to be his 3rd college, 4
mhm.
high schools. So 7 different schools in the past 8 years.
Wow.
Like, bro can't stay anywhere, bro. I mean, unless he really just does extremely good, I don't see him getting drafted, man. I mean, you talking about like issues and stuff like that he may have. I'm not saying he has issues, but I'm just saying like from all the stuff that came out with him, wanting a bag from Southern Cal, and now he's going to Oregon, and then I heard a lot of the Georgia players couldn't work with him well because he wasn't a good teammate and stuff like that. Like, bro, Bear Alexander better be like the best defense lineman on that team next year if he
Yeah.
wants to get drafted. I mean, I could see him going like 7th round somewhere, but man, I think he done killed him. I think he done killed his draft stock.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, most likely too.
I mean, I hope for the best for that man, but you know, I'm not gonna be a hater, but you know, he just has a lot going on.
Yep. They
Outgoing
have 14.
transfers.
Yeah, 14 outgoing. Luke Dunn is a punter to Washington, most likely. Um, Roderick Pleasant to UCLA.
Now, you know what?
Yeah.
That wasn't very pleasant for him to, transfer, but here we are. Roderick Pleasant,
Yeah.
George Sylvia, Michael Gardner, Ryan Pelham.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Tyler Kinsman, a punter. Grant Metters is a kicker. Jaron Kiawe Sagapolu Tele is a quarterback going to Cal.
Dude,
Jaden
imagine,
Moore.
imagine, imagine saying his name in the NFL.
Yeah.
Sagapawele with the catch.
Sagapolu.
You'd probably say his name 5 different times, different ways.
Everybody would.
You remember that
Is
guy
this guy
Noah?
related to Jameis Winston, you think? Where's he from? Is if he's from Bessemer.
Do you remember that guy? Do you remember that guy Noah?
Oh yeah. Yep. I know where you're going with that. The tight end,
What was
or
his?
was he
What was his
linebacker?
name?
Shut up. I saw memes about that. With it had the Key and Peele skit where he was sweating, and it said all the announcers in the booth when this guy takes the field.
Now, what are the likelihood that you're going to call one of his games, Ballard, on the Ballard
Oh
Sports
boy.
Media channel?
Oh boy. I will happily avoid all those games.
Who does he play for?
I have no idea. Clear my search history after I search this name. Bear with me.
Lawrenceburg Tigers.
Really? Oh, he's still in high school.
He signed with Eastern Michigan. So he will be a freshman, true freshman. You hear me?
What's that?
He will be a true freshman this year.
Yeah.
So me and you have got to definitely stream at Eastern
Oh,
Michigan.
do you know how you actually say his last name? Kanega.
Eastern Michigan. Who do they
I'm
play?
not. I don't know.
Football schedule. Let's see who they play. That's good. Do they play anybody good? They play Kentucky. Maybe me and you can stream the Kentucky Eastern Michigan game,
Why?
and you can
Why? Why would we do that?
Ballard Sports Media on the call.
Noah Kanega. That's how you say it. I just looked it up.
Shaq
He came out and said that.
Shaq McRoy.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest. I like the Oregon's transfer out incoming and outgoing. It's not like previous ones that we've seen like 30, 28, 21, 14, stuff like that. It's more like 10 and 14. It's very simple. Not too
Yeah,
many on each side. I like that. So I'm gonna give credit to that, and then I give this like a B plus.
I probably would too. Yeah. B plus or right out of B. I don't know. I mean, like you had 14 leave, you had 10 come in, plus recruiting. But if you're just looking at just transfers, like, I don't know. I feel like you have to try to make up with what you like. Depth is so important. And I don't know, just having 4 more leave than you brought in just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I don't know why.
But remember, not every player is equal
Right.
to. So what I'm trying to say is maybe Emmanuel pregnant is you know the equivalent of
Pregnon.
two. Huh?
Pregnon.
Uh,
Read it.
maybe he is the equivalent of two players that are in the outgoing transfer portal.
Maybe.
That's how I look at it. So I say like a B plus, solid.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's all I had. We have to do one more thing, unless you don't want to do it
What's that?
anymore.
Uh, it's up to you. It is past midnight. I got class in the morning.
That's up to you. This is your channel.
let's we could try to revisit it next time. I do have to get some rest for sure.
All right. Well, if you like the
All right.
content, please smash the thumbs up. And if you really like the content, hit the subscribe button, guys.
Hey folks, this is Christian Bauer. You're a WK member.